Hey guys, welcome back to the course. So in the last lecture, we talked about how you can thank your parents for covering your college tuition by pitching your business to them in an email. Really easy thing to do, and if you want to follow the natural arc of development as an entrepreneur, well, you want to make sure you don't skip that step. The more engaged and on the radar your network is, the more likely you'll be able to use them for support down the road and to get through the hard times. Okay, so in that lecture, we talked about sending an email directly and focusing on making a personal connection and being as open and as relevant as you possibly can. Now, how would you take advantage of your network if you wanted to reach out to everyone that is technically in your network and not just the ones you can access via email and that you picked out for your list? Well, the easiest way to do that is through the platforms that we have available for such purpose, Facebook and LinkedIn. No, we aren't going to devise a plan to snipe direct messages to all of our friends with targeted coupons. Your coupon is worthless if I barely know who you are, and the last time we talked was at a party when I thought your name was Steve, even though it was Greg, and I may or may not have forgotten to say bye, even as you said it across the room. This one is way simpler. We're just gonna post on these systems and use it as a one-time broadcast channel for letting everyone know what you're working on. Why Facebook and LinkedIn, you might ask? Well, because these are two of the most prolific networks out there that allow you to message everyone at once. And people, believe it or not, on both of these networks are actually kind of used to it. Okay, so your product or service is ready to go, your website is looking slick. How would I post about said slick website online? Well, okay, let's start with Facebook. Now, if I was posting on Facebook about my product, would I say something like, my product is way better than another product you've never heard of? Well, no, you wouldn't. Would you say, I'm homeless, all I need is $10,000 for a Tesla to sleep in, and by purchasing my SaaS software, you'll be getting me one step further to that goal? No, that's not going to work. In fact, Facebook doesn't technically allow you to promote your business through your personal account, but for the most part, we can get around that. Now, there are three different ways you can go about doing this. Number one, share a story. The automatic go-to for this kind of strategy is to tell a story about how you started the business and made the product you're talking about. People are naturally interested in what problems you had and how you overcame them. People really like to celebrate that sort of thing. You also have to remember this thing is coming from an account labeled with your personal name. They expect it to represent you, so tell your personal side of the business. This is a problem I had, this is what I did. Sprinkle in some funny anecdotes, one or two of them, and guess what? Finally, it's here. Oh my God, so proud. Here's a trackable link. The second way of doing this correctly is to share a moment. What is some anecdote or thing that's happened with your business you would normally tell your friends about? An observation about a customer, a bad advertisement for a competitor you saw, your first employee dressed up hilariously for Halloween. Whatever it is, these are just excuses to post and bring your business to everyone's awareness. Now, the third strategy I suggest using is to just be completely open and ask for feedback instead. Say, hey, I worked hard on this. This is what I believe in. Anyone got feedback that might help me? We learned last lecture that opening yourself up like this is endearing and people will naturally want to help if that's the case. And naturally, they might share it and naturally they might buy it themselves. So that's really how that works. Tell your story, share a moment you've had along the way, or just ask the community for feedback. Small question, do you add a photo? It's really up to you. I personally wouldn't because you want it to be as personal as possible. You don't want production value or the perception of production value on this. Make sure to post your posting with a view setting to everyone so that literally everyone can see it and it's not just limited to your close friends or one of those weird settings that Facebook has. Now, the same rules really apply for LinkedIn, but there's just a couple variations and a couple differences. LinkedIn is obviously more business oriented, so you're gonna lean away from telling your personal story just a little bit. You'll want to tell the same stories and moments, but focus it more on other people's problems that you're solving. They are, after all, businesses browsing their feeds, and they're always on the prowl for things that scratch their own businessy itch. A 1,000-word post about how you fell in love with Mr. Splashy Pants and wanted to make an oil capturing net doesn't exactly work very well on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, you're gonna post this as an announcement And here you can actually be more salesy if you want to. You can offer a 25% discount code at the very end of it. Now, is it a good idea to do that? I would say it's a toss-up. Personally, I would offer a call to action, but make the post personal and less sales-oriented. So really try this one out. It shouldn't take longer than 15 minutes. Worst case scenario, your friends tell you what a great job you're doing, and you'll get that warm and fuzzy feeling that's similar to indigestion that might just give you the strength to make it one more day. All right, guys, I will see you in the next lecture.